Hello and welcome back to my podcast. My name is Melissa Snow, and today we're going to be talking about my experience that I had with my friend in the car. And this is a true story, you guys. It is not a lie. It's not fake. It's actually true. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever gone through in my entire life. Not one of them, but one of the weirdest things that I've gone through. So I was having a stressful couple of months, and I was trying to figure out if I really wanted to hang out with the people that I was hanging out with. And I had a friend that's actually been really good to me. So I asked her if she wanted to hang out with me because I was stressed out and I was upset and I was trying to figure out what's going on and how I was going to get out of this situation that I was in. And that day it was already stressful because I got a new car, and you know how it is getting new cars. And so I decided to ask her if she wanted to go with me out for a drive because I just got this car. And she said yes. So she was at home with her husband, and the guy that I was dating at the time lived with them, and he was there. He just got home, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to go take my friend out, and we're going to go for a drive. Is that okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. As long as I got to see you, whatever, you know how that is." But, so she said goodbye to her husband, and I said goodbye to the guy that I was dating. And we decided to go. Okay, I live in the Washington state. So, we can go towards Idaho, or we can go towards Seattle, or we can go towards Portland area or Montana, or Canada. And I can't remember what's up on the south of us, but because I've never gone out that way. So anyway, so I was like, "Do you want to go out to the gas station out on the way to Grand Coulee Dam?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we ended up going to Grand Coulee Dam at this time, and we were over there like 2 years ago, so I know how to get there. And it was daytime at this time, so I said goodbye to my boyfriend. She said goodbye to her husband, and we said that we were going to see each other when we got back. But we were out for a couple of hours. It was probably about 6 o'clock around this time, because it was like summertime, and it doesn't get dark until late in the summer here. So we hop in the car, we start driving, and we get to this gas station, and we're going all around, and we're hanging out, and we're just talking about her life and my life and how stressed out we were. And I feel like that was charging the energy in the air at the time. Like, I feel like that's might be why this happened. But my feeling is we were just going out on a drive. And so I'm the one that's driving. She's in the seat over here, and we're talking, and then we're not talking, and then we're talking, and then we're not talking, like a usual conversation. So we decided, since it's getting late out, I mean, it's like probably getting 10 o'clock by the time we get home, because it started getting late, and we decided to go the back way, and this takes us through Grand Coulee Dam. Oh my God, I just like, this is the craziest story ever. I'm not even telling you. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, I'm trying to tell you guys, but I just like, every time I think about it, it's just like trips me out. So, we go the back way, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel like we should go this way. And she's like, "Don't say that, because every time you say something like that, something weird happens, or you have a weird feeling, and then we're glad we didn't go the way that we did, or we ended up turning around and going back the other way. But every time you say that, something weird happens." So I was like, "Well, let's just go this way anyway." So we're going, and we're talking, and we're quiet a couple of times, and we get to the actual dam, And there's a car behind us, and I don't know where I'm going because I don't know where to go in this roundabout. So we figured it out, and there was a van behind us, and I was like, I don't want those people behind us when we go this way. And she's like, okay, just pull over and wait till they leave and let's go. So we did that. And they went in the roundabout and they went to the other way. And where we were not going, we were going straight. They were going this way, like this way. And so I was like, great. I have a bad feeling all of a sudden. She's like, why? And I was like, I don't know. Let's just go. And I hope things are good. So we're going down this dam. The water's over here on my side. And there's mountains and rocks and stuff. And there's people. Since it's late, there's barely anyone passing us. Like there may have been a couple of cars that passed us. But I'm just glad she was in the car to experience this with me because it's a freaky thing. So we're going and there's no one on this road. There was people behind us, but they kept turning off, and there was people in front of us and passing. But all of a sudden, we were alone on this road. I'm not joking you. And there was no cars around. So, like I said in the other story, if I had 2 toy cars, I can explain this better. But I'm just going to try to explain it to you while I'm talking. So, there's nothing in front of me at all. Just the road. We're talking. I'm looking forward because I am the one driving. And normally when I'm driving, I don't look over at people. Sometimes I do. But I look over at her for a second, and then she's looking out the window because we're done talking and we're listening to the radio and we're just testing out the car. And so all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell is that? There was 2 headlights. Like, here's my car and here's another car. So we're probably like 50 feet from each other. I mean, this car could be touching mine, but it's like a little bit separated. And there's 2 headlights, and that's all I can see is headlights, and it looks like a car. And I'm like, what in the frick is happening here? Like, I'm going like 10 minutes in my mind, and I'm like, do I say something to my friend? I look over at her, and she's still looking out the window. And I'm looking like, what is happening? So, if you heard that, that was my cat. So, all of a sudden, it got really bright. My friend is looking out the window, and all of a sudden, she turns, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And she's turned, she's like, ah! Sorry if that was loud. And she's like, what the heck? But she said other words that I can't say on here. So she's like, what is this? What is going on? Why is this happening? Are they going backwards? I was like, I don't know. So when I was driving, it felt like the car stood still and wasn't moving. And we were hovering with this. And then we were having this conversation, and so she's like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to explain this. What's going on? And it got really bright in the car, like a whole round in the car got really bright. Like the headlights made it really bright in the car. So we're talking about this. I was like, I can't even stop the car. And we're going about 50 miles an hour. It's a 60-something road. And we're going about 50 miles an hour because I don't know this back road. And all of a sudden, like, I feel like we're just hovering. And I look at the time. And I look up. And to me, the time was going like standing still, but it was going normal. And so when I looked up, all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, the car vanishes and reappears on the other side of the road, stopped on the middle of the road where they are in their lane. And then that's when I was able to stop and pull over to this side. And I was still talking to my friend. I was like, what the heck? She's like, did you just see that? And I was like, yeah, I just saw that. I was like, what the heck is going on? And we're freaking out. Like, we're like freaking out over this. Okay. The car, I'm driving and I stop the car to go on the side. I don't know how I get on the side, but it just stops and goes over there. And we're having this conversation. And then I see the car like maybe 100 to 200 feet because I could get out and walk over there and then probably walk back. And I was like, what just happened? She's like, I don't know. It just got really bright in here. I don't know what happened. And then when we're sitting there, I wasn't scared. I wasn't upset, or I wasn't feeling anything, but I was just stressed because of the whole day and everything. And then this happened, and I'm like, that car was just hovering with us right in front of our faces, and in a blink of an eye, it just popped right over into the other lane where they're supposed to be, and they're stopped now, and we stopped on the side of the road. So I was like, should I get out of the car? And she's like, please don't get out of the car. Don't get out of the car, please. I don't want you to get out of the car. I don't know what's going on. This is weird. She goes, time feels like it's like stopped, and we lost track of time. I don't know what's going on. I was like, at least let's just drive next to it, because I was about to get out. I didn't know what was going on. And so we were talking about this for like 10 minutes. And then so she was tripping out. She was tripping out, saying all this stuff and everything. And what I was laughing about is her yelling after the fact that this happened. I started laughing, and she's like, why are you laughing? I said, because you just yelled and I didn't understand either what was going on. She goes, well, you didn't make a sound or anything. And I was like, well, what was I supposed to do? I was like, I'm so in shock and this is happening. So this car's sitting up there about 100 to 200 feet in front of us, back in this lane, stopped. And we decided, let's go. So I peeled out and we went right next to the car. I looked over into the car. No one was in this car. No one was in this car at all. And it was super bright. The headlights were on. It was a black car. And I kept looking in the rear view mirror. Sorry for not being able to talk about this. Is just exciting to tell still to this day. After this happened, but when I got to the side, I was like, should we just get out and see if those people are okay? But I did not see anyone in this car at all. Like, I didn't see them. I didn't know where they went. I didn't even see a person. Like, there was no one. So I was like, okay, we're done. Let's go home. This is done. We're over. We're not doing this shit anymore. Let's go. I just said a bad word. Sorry. I don't know how. Maybe I can like bleep it out. I don't know. So I'm not doing this crap anymore. Let's go. She's like, yeah, let's go. So as soon as I drove away, I saw the whole, like, we did not get in an accident with this car, okay? At all. We did not get in a car accident. We were perfectly fine. But in my mind, when we were driving, we got in a crash and I went backwards and I saw all this, windshield shatter. And then I saw the cops being called and our families being notified. And I don't even know if I was alive or unalive. So, yeah, and so that's when I started getting scared. And when I started getting scared, I kind of started laughing, and then I was like, what just happened? You know what? And then all of a sudden, I hear this voice twice in my head. It is not your time. It's not your time. And I seriously felt like there was an angel with us that day, like in the car. Like I saw wings and everything. And she said she saw that too. And so when we were driving, we were like still talking about it and freaking out all the way home about it. And she's like, you told me that something bad was going to happen, and look what happened. I was like, this is not my fault. I don't even know what the hell was going on. So when we got home, we both bolted out of the car, and she went straight to her husband, and I went to my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, oh my God. And I told him the whole story. And then she told him the whole story, her husband. And then they're like, you guys, why are you freaking out? Stop. He's like, they were both like, okay, this is what we think. You went through like a time warp or a time portal, or it was like phantom crash, or like, you know how when they have those urban legend things, when you're driving down the street and you see weird stuff, like a person or whatever, they're like, I think you actually crossed into a dimension where that happened to you guys, and then you came out 10 minutes later after all this was happening. And we were freaking out. And to this day, we're still freaking out about it. And I can never get over the image in my mind about this and the headlights. And one day, I'm still going to have her come on and talk about her experience, because she experienced different things. She said we crashed and went into water, but I don't know the rest of everything because we were both freaking out at the time of this story. And yeah, so that's my crazy story, and it's one of the crazy stories I've experienced in my life. I'll never get over it. It will always be in my mind, and she will never get over it, and it will always be in her mind, and we still talk about it to this day. And this happened like 7 or 8 years ago. I'm not even joking. It was like 7 or 8 years ago this happened. And yeah, so that is my crazy story about when we were driving in the car. And I want to thank everyone for listening to me. And I hope everybody has a great day, a great night, a great rest of your week, and a great rest of your month. Peace out, everyone.